what the fuck this episode's gonna be, but it's pretty much like every episode. Don't really know what it's gonna be. Okay, but I have a few things I would like to discuss. There's some things that I've been wanting to say, and yes, I just need to say them. I need to get them out of my mouth. Okay. Anyways, first things first. Welcome back. Thanks for continuing to listen. I very much appreciate it. What was I gonna say? Okay, so first things first, I've had a few people ask how they can support the podcast or like donate, because like that's like a commercial that plays on before my podcast, whatever. So on Spotify, whatever streaming platform you're listening to, in the bio or in the summary, there's gonna be like an Acast link, Acast/lol just here, and then it'll take you to my Acast page, which is where I post like all of my original episodes, and then they just like integrate onto Apple and Spotify and Google and YouTube, whatever. So click that link. When you click that link, you'll find my show's website, and then you'll find where you can donate. And any donations are appreciated. Love them. Girl needs money. Tired of talking for free. Anyways. Okay, second thing. I think I have how I'm going to do guest setups here. So I was thinking about this last night, and I think I know how I want to fucking do this, and I'm pretty fucking set on this. So I think like every 10th episode, I want to have a guest. So like when it's like, so we're soon coming up on episode 10, bitch. So I'm gonna need my motherfucking guest. But like I want like, you know, I want a guest on every 10th episode. I just think that would be so dope, because then like the 50th episode, the 60th episode, like the 100th episode, like I just think it'd be super fun. And then this way we can get like a mix up every 10 episodes of getting like new people on and shit and stuff, you know, fucking it up and shit, you know. So I think that's my idea for that. I kind of need to like start writing down a list of guest people that I need to start reaching out to. I already have like a list in my head of people I know I want to be on this show at least some part of the time, like at least some episode on here, but it's all depending on people's times and stuff, and if people even want to collaborate with me, because who the fuck would actually. Anyways, so that takes care of that, but that's how I think I'm gonna do that, and I'm very excited. I'm so fucking ready to have guests, bro. Like, you think I love talking by myself? I love when I have somebody else that's talking as well, and I can like shit on them, bro. This shit's gonna be so funny. I'm gonna have some like really wild, blatant ass, crazy ass interviews just for shits and giggles, you know? It's gonna be so funny. It's gonna be fucking up people's lives. It's gonna be so funny. I'm kidding. Anyways, back to motherfucking business. So I am currently in a motherfucking car again. You already know this is how this podcast begins every other time. Have a few driving minutes ahead of me, so I'm like, you know what? Pop on, do some podcast shit. Maybe pop on, do some podcast shit when I come on the way back. We'll see. Anyways, I do not have much left in my grinder, but I'm gonna scrape up the little bit that I can, get this pinchy of smoking, and then we're gonna talk about why I wanted to come on the fucking podcast today and talk about it. And I just think it's just too good. I just gotta talk about my damn times. It's gonna be so fun. Oh my god, I actually have more in the grinder than I thought I did. That's always a believable great time in my life. You know, I really just like having my weeds. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. But yeah. I'm like focused on so much on trying to get this shit in the grinder that I can like barely fucking speak. I'm forgetting that I'm even shooting a podcast right now. It's like I'm fully in just like a complete different mode. Okay, got it. We got some. That's all that matters. Some is better than none. Shit, I'm gonna turn my cruise control down because honestly, gas mileage got me thinking lately. Okay. that's a groovy speed for me, especially while smoking. Anyways, so why I wanted to come on the podcast today and speak is because I was going through my Snapchat memories today, and I was looking at one of my, like, I was looking at one of my past jobs, because I was like filming me at my job, and I was like, you know what, I would love to get a little high and just tell everyone about my work experience in and around Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and just give some little dabbles, tell some stories, share some giggles. Yeah, after this, like, every person who's ever employed me is gonna be like, literally never again. Literally never again, JK bitch. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I'm like a pretty fucking good employee most of the time. Like, if I'm off my shit, like if I'm late and stuff, then you know, like, there's something really wrong with me. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm like usually trying to keep it like cool and keen and being the best employee I can and being super responsible and super, you know, whatever. I think I'm a good employee, but at times I cannot be. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little schmuck at a bow, and then we gonna talk about that. Right. Where did Jada start? Where did she begin? How did she begin working? How was she profusely put in the workforce? All right. First job ever. First job, like, ever. I was in 4th grade or 3rd grade. I think it was 3rd grade. Because I was a cool kid. Because I knew how to count, like, super early. So I could be, like, one of the younger ones there. Yeah, so I was in 3rd grade. I was working for the school Student Sense, aka the RCU banking through the elementary school. Represent Meadowview. Meadowview Hawks represent on this motherfucking episode. If you were a Meadowview Hawk, I'll always fucks with you. Some of you. Some of you. Anyways, but yeah, so we had this like little school banking thing, and we worked on Wednesdays, and I thought it was cool as fuck because I was like a 3rd grader doing that shit. Like, there was only like a few selected like maybe 1 or 2 3rd graders per year that would work, because it would mainly be taken up by like 4th and 5th graders, because they were like the ones that would get the job first. And I was like, bitch, I'm up in there and I'm in 3rd grade, bitch, I can count this cash, do the dash. So first job ever, worked that for an entire year of my 3rd grade year. It was super fun. Then we got to have a pizza party at RCU, and you know that shit was bumping. That shit was bumping. And then when I was like around 11 or 12, I started working with my mother. I would help her clean on the weekends at in Chippewa Falls at Mason Companies. And that went on for a few years. Worst fucking job of my goddamn entire life. Like, I love my mother, and I think, like, I will downplay how much I love her sometimes, but goddamn, like, us working together at midnight till, like, 3 in the morning cleaning, like, they're insane stories. That bitch literally sprayed me with chemicals. She hosed me with chemicals at, like, 4 in the morning one time, because I was fucking laughing at her so hard. Like, it was so funny, because it would always be an on or off night. Like, we'd either have a really good night or we'd have a really bad night, or it would be like a mixture of the two. Like, we'd start off really good and then it would just be really bad, or we'd start off really bad and then it'd end up pretty good. But like, it was just so funny, because like, me and my mother's relationship is almost like a sister relationship, because it's like we really know how to just like piss each other off, like really could just like flame throw everything. And so yeah, it was Jesus Christ, I was so ready to get a real job. I was like, fuck this shit, bro. Like, I don't mind cleaning. I've never downgraded cleaning. I think anybody who downgrades janitorial work and acts like they're better than that is a fucking loser in themselves. Like, janitorial work, you make crazy ass money, and yeah, you know how to fucking clean. And yeah, I literally, like, some people would, like, be so rude when you would say, like, oh my god, yeah, I, like, clean for a living. They're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, bitch, it's Mike in the gula too. Because I always had fresh shit when I came on there, like, every week then. When I came into middle school, bro, I always had fresh shit on. Had the new Nikes and everything, bro. Shit wasn't free. Shit wasn't free. Then I got my first job at Dairy Queen when I was like 15. I started there in around like March of 2016. God, I worked there for like 2 years. It was it was a shit show. Like, it was super fun. Like, I have so many, like, I'm so glad that was my first job. Like, it was such a good first job. Like, it was so close to my house. I could literally walk there. Like, I could work anytime I wanted. Like, I made pretty good fucking money as like a kid my age, and I was respected almost like an adult pretty much. And so I fucking loved it. And that's what I loved about working so much. And I became like a workaholic when I was like in my teens, because it was just nice to be finally treated as like a fucking adult. Like, any position I was in, like, especially when I worked at Festival, and we'll get into that, but like when I worked at Festival for as long as I did, they literally treated me like an adult. I was never treated like I was some fucking stupid ass kid off the street who didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And like, everybody knew me, and everybody fucking treated me with respect because they knew I was a good worker and that I knew what the fuck I was doing. And that was the same way at Dairy Queen. So I always had mad respect for that place, and always will. I mean, Golf Road DQ, bitch, I looked that shit up. That shit was lit as fuck. Oh my god. And then, like, there was like so many different people I worked with from my own school there, and like so many different people I would see there from my school, and it was just so fucking embarrassing. It was just great. That's like the best job to work when you're like 15 and fresh in high school, because then when you're working Friday nights and the basketball game gets out and everyone comes to DQ, they know that you work at DQ, and you are going to serve everybody that you know. I would always hide in the back. I would always be like, I'm going to go stalk or something. Like, I can't be up here right now. There's too many people I know, and they're looking at me too crazy, and I'm about to blow. Yeah, I've had some really interesting stories of people peers I've known that I've waited on at DQ, and just how they've acted. Some good fucking stories. It's just, you know, it was a joke. Anyway, so I worked there for about 2 years. While I was working there, I started at Festival. Because Festival on Birch Street opened up in like October 2017, November 2017, somewhere around there. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I mean, I guess I'll work at Festival Foods. Like, we'll try this out. Started as a cashier. I was that for like 8 months to a year. And then started working at service desk, and then ended off working like a customer service representative, sort of like front-end management position. Worked there for 4 years. One of the best places I've ever worked for in my entire life. Internally grateful for the position that I had there and the people that I met there. I mean, it was a stressful job at times, but it was like one of my more better jobs that I've ever had, like one of my more respectful positions. Then I got out of DQ, and while I was working at Festival still, I got a job at Savers, worked with my homegirl Katie and Amy, and that was a complete shit show. I lasted like 2 months at Savers, literally the week before I knew I was going to not come in, because they literally told me when I started working there, if I had any dates that I need specifically off, to tell them now so that they don't schedule me. And I literally told them, I only have one fucking thing going on, okay? In May, I will be going to Soundset. I paid for tickets already. I have people I'm going with. That is my one thing. Gave them the date and everything. Like, literally when I fucking started. Then these bitches want to act fucking crazy when May comes around, and they're like, it's like a sale day, and everyone works sale days. I'm like, but not this bitch, because I told you I have Soundset tickets. The fuck you mean? And it was like my first time ever seeing Tyler, Jaden, and like all that. It was a good year of Soundset, bro. okay? I was not gonna fucking miss that for fucking Savor sales, okay? So the week before I knew that this was still an issue, the week before, I literally, the night that I knew it was gonna be my last night, I spent like $100. We had a 50% off discount, spent $50, but like literally bought so much shit there and then just like pieced out and never, like literally like didn't fucking return. And then I didn't start shopping there again for like another 2 years because I was like, I need the staff to kind of like shift out and then I'll like go back. But shitty ass fucking place to work, shitty ass people, managers were always fucking annoying as fuck. I mean, like my other friends thought differently, like my other friends lasted longer there than I did and actually ended up going back. But no, literally the worst job I've ever fucking had. Played the same 10 fucking radio songs every fucking day. Pushing the racks was one of the worst fucking times of my life. The only thing that was good about that job was the discount. That was literally it. That was the only way I was staying there that much longer. And because the red vest was kind of fire, not gonna lie. And I would see my friends there too. I worked there my junior year, so like there'd always be people coming in to shop at Savers, so I could always see my friends while I was there. That was like another good thing about it too. That was about fucking it. Otherwise, literally worst place ever. Fucking hated it. Okay, so then quit Savers, still working at Festival. Then I started Mason Companies on my own. So I started Mason Companies. I worked in the call center. I did that for about a summer. Like started in the summer, left in November because they would just literally use and abuse me. Also, one of the worst jobs I've ever had in my entire fucking life, okay? Because not only was this job like seriously some of the worst work ever, but they literally had the worst managers ever possible. Like these people would treat you like you were nothing. Like you work a 12-hour shift and you still get treated like you are gum beneath their feet. Like it was just super fucking ridiculous and I was so over it. I was getting super tired from working like between there and Festival. They would schedule me like insane hours. I would fall asleep on the phone. I'd come in high to work. I would be, oh my god, yeah, because they wouldn't allow cell phones in the building because like it's a breach of privacy, obviously, because you're working in a computer setting and you're entering in people's credit card numbers and stuff like that. So I 110% get it. Whatever, we had to leave our phones out in the car. But then you know what? I was like, okay, if I don't have my phone to entertain me and I literally can't like look on any websites or whatever because they're always staring at us, I'm literally gonna come in high as fuck. So I would like in junior years, like towards the end of junior year is when I started smoking and that's when I got the job. And I was making like, that was my highest paying job at the moment. And it was a good paying job at the moment. That's when we were making like $12 an hour in like 2017, 2018, which was huge. Bitch was buying weed by the fucking gallon. And I would come in there so fucking high because it would be the only way I could even stomach going there or feeling comfortable there because I got such anxiety going there that I would literally smoke so I could just relax. And it also just made me better with customer service on the phone. I got less intense when I was very high on the phone. Like I didn't give a fuck what was going on. If we had an issue with credit cards or billing process, I would literally go step by step. I wouldn't miss a beat. But when I was sober up in that bitch, I would hang up on the phone. I would hang up so many times. If there was something I didn't want to do, I would just hang up. I wouldn't even try to execute it. I would be like, fuck that. I'm so over you. Goodbye. Or I'd fall asleep on the phone. That was cute too. Then I left and never gave. That was like the only job I had. Well, not the only job. Savers was too. The only job that, like, another job that I left without giving a notice because I was like, you guys aren't worth my time. Like, you guys are like literally the shittiest people I've ever worked for. And I've worked for some like annoying ass people. Like, but y'all really take the cake. Seriously. And then, what else did I fucking do? God. Then we get into like this past year, like COVID and everything, and like me just going to like 75 different fucking jobs like within the area. Like Jesus Christ. Let me take a little hit and let me see if I can refresh my memory on where I started after that. Festival, because during the summers I started working like up to full time, so I was like, fuck having a second job and trying to run back and forth between 2 jobs. Let me just stick with Festival. They treat me better anyways. Like, I literally haven't found a business yet that treats me better than them, so I'm just gonna work for them for like a long time. And then I got a position because I modeled for Red's Mercantile. Nice ass shop downtown by fucking Becca Cook. Vote for her. I'm super excited. She's a great lady. Shout out. But anyway, so I got like a modeling gig with her to model for Red's Mercantile. It was like this Black Market Alley promotion that we were like shooting for. Also her like spring line of stuff. So it was cute. I was very pretty. It was a very pretty shoot. It was like one of my favorite shoots ever. Also really like working with her and working at her store. Just working with her in general like made me appreciate natural beauty so much, and that's why I'm like very much like don't really wear any makeup anymore. She's just naturally a very pretty person. Anyways, so after I modeled for her, I think 2 months or a month after, she invited me to work for her store, and I was like, hell to the fuck yes. Like, I've always wanted to work on my own. I want to work in a small local shop, and it was like so close to Bird Street Festival, so if I had to go back and forth between the two, it would be super easy. It was like literally right up the hill. So I worked there for a bit. I worked there through COVID, which was very interesting. But I really, working downtown, and I think working with small businesses was like always my calling, because I really appreciate them. I always like love the people I meet. There's such a great community downtown, and I just, like meeting so many of the people who make this shit is so cool. It's like, oh my god, these are some of my favorite fucking products on the earth, and you literally make it, and you're saying hello to me. It was so cool. And just working beside Becca, somebody who's so like dedicated and such like a entrepreneur and like her own type shit. It was so inspiring. Then I got fired from there because I had to get let go because I had the second job and it was COVID. She couldn't keep another person on, so I got let go. Then the local store started hiring, and I remember the day that the local store started hiring because my mom sent me the application through text messages. Like, she sent me a screenshot of the Facebook post and like sent it to me, and she's like, the local store is hiring, and I'm like, the fucking local store is hiring finally? I'm like, holy fuck. I'm so fucking applying. Like, I've wanted to work for Lindsay Quinney's for so fucking long. I think she's super fucking cool. I love the local store. I love Volume 1. Like, my family's always been big on reading the Volume 1 and getting the new Volume 1 and everything like that has to do with that. And so I was like, I'm so fucking gonna try to get a job here. And then I remember, so yeah, I turned in my application, got my first interview, and my first interview was with Lindsay Quinney's, and that was like, oh my god, it was so great. It was so cool. Everyone there, like, the coolest job I've ever fucking had in my entire life. Because everyone there is just very unique and very driven and very hardworking, and they do so many incredible things, and there's just, I can't say enough. And it's not even because I still work there. It's just because, like, that's just, like, literally how I feel. I wouldn't be working there if I didn't feel that way. Trust me, because I've left a lot of places I don't feel good at anymore. And we'll get into those. Don't worry, they're coming next. Anyways, yeah, so just great time. So first interview went really well. Then we had the second interview, and I was really fucking nervous because the second interview had to be with the head of like everything there, which is Nick Meyer. And I was like, I've never met him, but I knew his wife. I was like, okay, Meyer sounds super familiar. Then I remember someone saying his wife's name was Sally, and I was like, Sally Meyer. Literally, I had her as a 7th grade art teacher. Remember her very distinctly. And then he like also lives in the neighborhood that my boyfriend lived in. So I was just like, okay. So then, what was it? It was, yeah, so I had the second interview with him. I was literally scared as fuck because I didn't know what he was like. And yes, he's not scary, but it's like, it's intense, you know? It's a little intense. Like, you really, like, I was like not prepared for what he was asking me. So I really was coming up with shit on the fly. Like, I was like, fuck, I did not prepare for him to ask me any of these questions. Like, he wasn't even asking me questions. Like, I had never had an interview like the ones I'd had there before, which I think is what I really liked about the job too, was because like they literally didn't even ask me shit about like working in the store. Like they maybe asked me like 1 or 2 questions about like knowing sales shit and like how to work in a store, but then they asked me like shit about my like career and what I want to do in my life and like shit like that. And I just thought that was really like interesting. Like they like were like, okay, so like you're doing a degree in this, like what do you want to do with that? And yeah, I was just like, I literally, yeah. So I've been working for them since like April 2021, and it was so funny because when I got the job, like I got the call for it and I like didn't answer my phone. I can't remember what the fuck was going on that day. I literally wasn't on my phone the entire day. Like I think I was sleeping or something. I can't remember what it was, but I like didn't answer my phone the entire day. And like she left me a voicemail, she emailed me, she texted me, like tried to get in so many different ways in contact with me to let me know that I got the job. And I just was like, I called her the day after and was like, oh my god, thank you, I'm so excited to start. I'd be a little late sometimes. But yeah, still continue to work there. It'll be a year in April, this upcoming April. Super happy, love it. One of my favorite places ever. And filled with so many people I love and very much admire. So, great place. So then, so then I was working the local store and festival. I was like, okay, festival's not paying me as much. I want to boost up the career. I want to boost up some monies. So then I applied for the Oxbow in June 2021. And this is when they were going to be like reopening it after COVID. They had been shut down for a while, whatever. So I was like, okay, like this shouldn't be too bad. Like I'm kind of excited. And yeah. Lasted there until about August 2021, and then I started working for the brewing project from like August 2021 until December 2021. Just a whole bunch of affairs, you know, so many mini jobs in between. Okay, so the Oxbow was interesting. It was just really weird management there. Like I liked some of the people that worked there, like that were like staff along with me, and like some of the, like the bartenders were super cool, and like the waiters and stuff were really dope, but just like management in general there was just like really shitty. And they just like think like because you make the $16 an hour, like they just literally like think like they think they can speak to you any type of way. And I was just like, this is weird as fuck. I'm not gonna be working like a slave for $16 an hour. It was just, it was kind of a joke. And then like their whole the Oxbow's ran by like Pablo company, and like don't get me wrong, I love the Pablo Confluence Center. I think it's great. It's probably my favorite thing that they've done. But like they just like, the hotel is very like high and mighty, which is obvious because it's downtown. It's right across from the local store. It was so nice because I was literally working at like 2 of the same places. Like when I tell you this, like when guests would see me working at the hotel, checking them in, and then working at the store the next day that I told them to come in, it was so nice. And that's why I loved that job so much. And it was $16 an hour. I was like, god damn bitch, this shit is good. But I literally had to leave because it was just so ridiculous. Like the management was so shitty. They just literally think they can treat you any type of way. And I'm like, you know what, bitch loves the money, but I'm definitely not going to be working under these conditions. Like I would be crying, like bawling, because they would just like say some of the like most horrible shit that I've ever heard a manager ever say to me, or thought that was appropriate to say to me. I was like, what the fuck? Just very shitty people over there. But I respect the place. I like love everything they do there and stuff. Just management wise, I would just FYI not work there. But anyways, I remember the one time I did something breach of my contract with the hotel, and they like got really pissed off at me because I like let this lady stay that was like obviously having a hard time, but she had like cash for the room, but she like didn't have a credit card. And like we had her ID though too, like I scanned her ID and she just didn't have a card. And like that is like the main rule, and they like fucked, like they really ridiculed me over that. And I'm like, for someone that's like so promoted on like being in like equity and helping the homeless population in Eau Claire, like Pablo, you're a fucking fraud. Like you're literally there to make money and to literally make the face of your company look like you're all about equity and affordable living and all this other bullshit, but really you're just in it for yourself. Like everybody knows that everybody at Pablo knows what they're doing, and everybody who works for Pablo knows exactly what the fuck goes on, and it's probably would 10 out of 10 never fucking work for them again. That's why I'm pretty much saying all this shit, because I'm like, you know what, I mean, it's not like I'm ever gonna probably try to apply there ever again in my entire life, so yeah. Yeah, like I've had like friends send me like creative director positions there, and I'm like, I would never work for fucking Pablo in my entire life. I would rather go work for the Leader Telegram at this point, like for real, for fucking real, dude. I would rather work at the fucking Leader Telegram. Like, Jesus Christ, I am not working for Pablo. They're just such a like sketchy ass place that really isn't about what they say, at least in my book. That's just what I realized there. And just like how some of the people talk there, like I had never heard so many like discriminatory things being said in a hotel. That's why I like don't like working at hotels or anything to do with hotels. I would never get a hotel job again, because especially if you work in a high and mighty uppity hotel place, they're just really fucking rude, and they're like the way that they talk about guests behind their back and like say certain things, like especially the managers that get paid like the big huge salary there. I'm just like, bro, like you guys are so fucking disrespectful, and it's disgusting. Like I literally it was so gross. So yeah, I mean, they just had some really foul people working there, and they still do. And like it's so funny to me because it's obviously still across from the local store, and I still like have to like walk past there every day to get to the local store. But it's so funny, especially when I see like the manager in particular that I worked with. I'm not gonna name any names. We're gonna name her name. We're gonna name her Brooke. Everybody knows who the fuck I'm talking about. If you worked at the Oxbow, or if you've been to the Oxbow, you know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about. Whenever I see Brooke though, I'm just like, it makes me laugh so hard. I love seeing her through the window and trying to make an eye contact with her too. It's like I literally try to laugh. Like I try to laugh so hard. Like, it was so great. And it was so funny because like the most time she ever said the most words to me was when I was leaving. Like she was the definition of a fucking see you next Tuesday. Definition of a cunt. Like for fucking real. Like bitch literally had so many issues, yet like really wanted to just like make everyone else feel like a complete waste of space and shit. She was terrible. So Brooke, I hope you're doing well. I see that the Facebook is gone. I see that you finally got bullied out of Facebook. I was like, dude, this shit's too ridiculous. And then like the manager of the hotel too there, her name, we'll call her Patty. We'll call her fucking Patty. Yeah, Patty is like a joke. She's such a joke. Like one of the rudest bitches I've ever fucking met in my entire life. Like was so rude to me in front of guests that guests would literally, like when Brooke and Patty would walk away from me, like I think it's so funny because they literally thought they were the shit. Like they really thought, like especially when they would like embarrass me or say shit to me in like a very like shitty ass way that they would with their big bucky eyes and their cigarette smelling selves, they would think guests like would think it's funny or think it would be acceptable. But no, literally when Brooke and Patty would walk out of the vicinity, guests would literally, like I had a guest this is so funny, I had a guest of like the four most Karens I've ever met in my entire life, and that it wasn't a bad type of Karen. Like they were just, you could tell they were very like, we need this and we need that and we need it now, okay? And I was very much like, okay. And so Brooke and Patty were in the vicinity and they were talking shit on me again. Like they would consistently do this, like talk shit on me in front of guests. That was another reason that I like would not, I was like, I'm never working here again, because I was like, okay, I get paid $16 an hour, but I'm also getting disrespected in front of people I'm literally taking care of for your bitch ass company. Like, what the fuck am I even doing here? It's just so ridiculous to me. Anyways, so there was like this group of Karens. They were there for the weekend or whatever, and I was working. It was like in the afternoon time, and working the afternoon shifts was the literal fucking worst, especially during the week, because that's when all of the fucking most annoyingest managers were there. You had the head manager fucking Patty, you'd sometimes have your manager fucking Brooke, and then you'd have the other one, the event coordinator. Let's call her fucking no, because that's way too close. I was gonna say something from Euphoria, but that was way too close. We'll call her Katie. And we had Katie, the fucking event manager, and she was one of the worst event managers I've ever met in my entire life. Like, lady never would ever speak on the phone with guests. Like, you would have like important guests calling that were literally ready to drop 5K, 6K on an event in one night here, and she'd be like, send them to my email. I do not do phone calls. She was like one of the most laziest bitches I've ever fucking met in my entire life. Like, I was just like, you are so, like, anybody can event manage then. Like, I should have fucking signed up. Like, where can I sign up for this position, bitch? Like, anybody can event manage. Like, goddamn. Please tell me you did not go to school for this shit, because you really are the laziest bitch I've ever met. And she always just thought she was so uppity and mighty. It was so funny. But anyways, it was so annoying to work during the week because those bitches would all be there. And they were just like, very like, they were like 30, 40-year-old women with just like very ignorant ass attitudes and like just loved hating on you. Especially the black girl. She was the only black girl working there. Anyways, so that's not the only reason. I don't think it was racially derived, but I just like to put that in perspective. But anyways, so so Brooke and Patty like say like some shitty shit to me in front of a guest. Like, I was near dead tears. Like, they were just being really rude as I was trying to take care of a guest and take care of a guest on the phone, and they weren't helping me with either. After I had just taken down like the 56 boxes of toilet paper that Brooke only helped with for like 5 minutes, and then was like, I can't breathe anymore, I gotta take a cigarette break. With her like stupid ass white Ray-Ban glasses that she would wear as fucking glasses that looked so ridiculous. I was like, I don't even know if I'm working with Brooke or the bitch from LMFAO circa 2012 right now. What the fuck is this, dude? Like, seriously, this bitch is really coming for me right now. Anyways, so I was in like dead near tears because I was like the most disrespected I had ever been, and I was disrespected in front of 4 women, and they all were listening and all were watching intently. And so Brooke and Patty were still in the vicinity, and they had left to go into the Lakely, and they were just checking out the Lakely. Brooke and Patty had left the vicinity because they're like, oh, whatever, like, let's go do our own. They would also be the type of bitches that would literally be clocked in, walking around downtown, not doing a jack shit thing. It's just a fucking joke. But anyways, like, okay, so the 4 Karens came back into the fucking room after they checked out the Lakely, and they were like, we were going to, like, one of the girls speaks up finally, she's like, we were going to say something when they were just talking to you, but we just thought we'd rather wait until after. What type of fucking, they were like, the lady actually swore, like, these were ladies in their like 50s and 60s visiting for the weekend, and they were like, who the fuck acts like that? Are they your managers? And I was like, yes. She's like, you need to speak to HR. She was like, that was like so uncomfortable for all of us, and I can only imagine how uncomfortable it was for you. And I was like, I felt it was nice to feel validated, because I was like, yeah, now somebody at least sees what the fuck goes on here. Like, I'm not just making this shit up. Like, bitches are, they're like literally fucking crazy. Like, psycho, normative ass bitches. You can't do anything to please them. And that's why I left. I was like, peace the fuck out. Then I started on the brewing project. I worked there from like August until December. The brewing project was fun. I had never bartended before. Technically, I was a beer tender because all I was doing was pouring beers and serving beers. But it was so fun to work there. Just like towards the end, I just was like not very keen with what the fuck was going on. There's like a lot of miscommunication, and I was only working there like literally one day a weekend, and they were like expecting me to keep up with like this mass communication, and I was just like, bro, I really don't care. Like, I'm literally in Eau Claire only on the weekends to work. That's the only time I'm focused on work. Like, the local store never hits me up with some bullshit like midweek saying, okay, we need you to focus on this while you're like trying to do school and stuff. It's like, bro, I'm literally in my junior year of college. I like don't want to be like fucking answering text messages every day to my boss. So it just like, I love the place, but it just became like too fucking much at a certain point, and I was already working 3 jobs at that point. I needed to cut one out of my schedule, and I decided to cut that one. Not in the best way, but I had to. I was like, I don't wanna do this anymore. These bitches can suck my dick. Anyways, I think I'm gonna film an outro for this in a bit. My drive is almost up, and happy motherfucking St. Patty's Day, bitches. We'll toodaloo soon. Okay, so maybe I was like high as fuck last night. I don't know. Maybe I didn't do what the fuck I was supposed to do, but when I literally was talking about like ending the or like pausing the episode and then like restarting back, yeah, that isn't a real function. I don't know where the fuck I came up with that from. Sorry to lie on you like that, Apple. But yeah, so I couldn't go back. I like just got done listening to it and I was like, oh yeah, like I don't have an outro now. But anyways, I'm heading back from Menominee right now. I will be getting off on my exit pretty soon, but I was like, you know what? Let's finish this off right. You know, I gotta give us an outro. I cannot not say thank you for listening at the end. I mean, it just wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be me if I didn't say toodaloo. Toodaloo! Anyways, so just got back from the studio. Long motherfucking time up in that bitch. I love a good studio day. You know, like when I, keep up with the shit and I'm just like working and getting shit done and like really popping off. But then like, yeah, there's always that part that hits. Like I was like, it was like around 3 p.m. and I was just like, yeah, I could like really just go to bed. Like, this is like enough work for me for today. And I was only in there at that point. It had been for like 4 hours. And I'm like, yeah, I could go to bed right now. See you later. And then I was like, no, I should like finish some more shit up. So I finished some more shit up, did it, and then yeah, got the fuck out. I was like, gotta go, bitch. I'm like, any more longer up in the studio and I'm gonna need some fucking alcoholic beverages. Because I done already took in the smoke breaks, but I definitely need an alcoholic beverage. And I was like, you know what? Let's just not. Let's just not. Dick's is too close to the School of Art and Design, and fucking Quick Trip is literally like right across the street from Stout. Like, bitch, if there was a place to buy liquor on campus, it would be so lethal. It would be so lethal. Oh my god, I would be dead. I would be dead. D-E-A-D. Fucking dead, bro. I would be solidly dead. It would be so sad. I would die at such a young age. I'm just kidding. I actually really don't have that much of a drinking problem. I would say the only thing that really keeps me going, like my one true addiction would probably be sugar. I'm just kidding. I mean, I like puffing on shit too, so I guess it would have to be like a mix between like weed and nicotine, because I love smoking. Just like the feeling of smoking is just like, and like that oral fixation that you get after you've hit a vape so many times and you just can't go back away from it. It's such a habit, and it's the stupidest one I've ever fucking had, honestly. Yeah, but anyways, like if I lived in a more like if I lived somewhere where it was like legal, I wouldn't even touch nicotine again. If weed was legal here and I could just get a vape pen of strictly weed, not some CBD 8. I've tried to wean myself off of vaping and buying like a CBD vape and like whatever, but it just doesn't hit the same. And you know what? Like, I'm not gonna spend twice the amount of money to like literally not feel anything. I'm trying to at least feel a little something. I need a little fire up my ass, something, okay? So that's, yeah, I continue. But yeah, no, if I fucking lived like where they have like a full gram in a vape, and it was like a good hitting vape, like if they made like a really good fucking brand, and it was strictly weed, oh my god, I would be vaping weed like nobody's business. I would never touch nicotine again, because I don't fuck with cigarettes. Like, I've smoked 2 in my life, and that's an honest answer. Might have been 3, I don't know, they're usually when I'm drunk. The first one though that I ever had was when I was sober. So I was like, I think it was my last night at Dairy Queen. You totally my first motherfucking job, bitch. You know, I was a crew member at DQ. You know what it is. Golf Road, you know what I said. And it was my last night at DQ, and we were gonna go out after, like, all of me and I was working with, like, my favorite coworkers that night, and we were gonna go out and go out to eat after, and we went to Perkins. And my friend Ethan, he was like, hey, you want to come outside and smoke before we go to Perkins? And anytime. And I didn't start smoking until I was like 17, and I was 17 at this time, so I was like, oh, show. Because I had another friend there that would bring her wax pen in, and we'd hit that when you take the trash outside, and that shit would get me zooted. I was like, damn, this shit's awesome. I love it. Being in the drive-thru high as fuck, though, asking people if they, hi, welcome to DQ. Would you like to buy a 10-pack of dilly bars today for only $9.99? Bitch, when you're high as fuck, I made tips like nobody's business. I mean, I made tips like nobody's business when I was sober, but I was extra polite when I was high. And it always came off sincere. It never came off like I was like being a little smart, toonie-ass bitch. I was so happy. I was like, would you like? I would sometimes like sing, would you like a 10-pack of dilly bars today for only $9.99? And like people would buy it just because I would fucking say it like that. They'd be like, I don't even want one, but you sold me because of that. Like, that was great. That made my night. And I was like, fuck yeah, bitch. That's why I'm like, you know what? Business major. I was like thinking about doing a business minor when I was in school, and I was like, fuck that, bitch. I think I got it down. I'm a marketing machine, bitch. Like, just always can upsell. It's so fucking easy. I don't know. Anyways, back to the point. So Ethan was like, oh, do you want to go out and smoke real quick before we go to Perkins? And I was like, okay. When people say that to me, you know, and when people have said that to me, it's always been weed. And I'm okay. I'm like, yeah, wow. Like, it's the end of the night. Like, my last closing shift at DQ, fuck yeah. And closing shifts at DQ are just like, especially like in the summer, because like we close later, and so then people stay fucking later than our closing time, and then they just fuck more shit up, and there's more shit to clean, and it's just always so much nasty ass food, so many fucking children throwing their shit on the floor, and bitches that can't keep their fucking ice cream in a cup, and there's always a hard ass ice cream stain, and I'm like, bitch, Jesus Christ. Anyways, so yeah, so he asked me to go out and smoke, right? Okay, so go outside. I'm like, okay, like whatever, like we're gonna smoke. This motherfucker hands me a cigarette. He's like, I'll light it for you. Like, doesn't even give me a chance to like not be like, nah, son, I don't fuck with these. And I was like, oh, I thought you meant weed. And he's like, sorry, are you fine? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess. Because at the time I was juuling, and I was like, oh, whatever, same thing. Definitely not. The fucking disgustingest thing ever. When you are sober and you smoke a cigarette, I couldn't even taste my whole dinner at Perkins. I was so sad. I was like, what is this? This is disgusting. It was the worst thing in my life. Now I like, and then the second time I had a cigarette, it was like when I was super fucking drunk. And I think someone just had it like cigs, and yeah, it was so good. It's so good when you're drunk. But fucking sober? How do people smoke a cigarette sober? This shit has no good taste. And that was the only reason I was vaping. It was like the taste was still pretty fucking good. That and then it would also, you know, be getting you a little buzzed. And it was a good in the hood type of situation. But yeah, thoroughly did not enjoy that. I was like, no. How about no? Okay, all of these fucking bitches at this fucking roundabout. I'm so over it. Is that, oh, I thought that was, never mind. I'm like back in Eau Claire right now, and I like was looking, I like, sometimes I will look because I think I know somebody, like, or I like, that looks like somebody I know, and then I like stare at them and they're like, bitch, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, sorry, wrong bitch, wrong bitch, wrong bitch, wrong day, wrong bitch, wrong day. Nothing like a good hit off the vape after we got done talking about the vape for about 10 minutes. Nothing like it. Always good. Whew. Yeah, here we go with that turn signal ASMR up in this bitch. And then you hear the fucking phone just clash to the side of the dashboard. Truly ASMR in the car, bitch. Like, I'm gonna start hashtagging car ASMR. I'm trying to get more fans up in this bitch. Like, vroom vroom. If I have to start the engine and we put that up in there too, like, I'll do it. If we get the fans and the money for it, let's go. Trying to get that Pit Viper ad real quick. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, so I am currently like 30 seconds away from reaching my house. So this podcast is gonna come to an end. I could not film an outro, okay? Because it's just, you know, it wouldn't be right. So, Tuda fucking Lou, thank you guys so much for fucking listening. Thank you, Carly and Caleb, because Carly gave me $7 towards gas, even though she's broke, and that is a bad bitch type shit. Like, Carly, you really are that motherfucking bitch. So thanks for Caleb, Carly, all the fucking C named people out there. Y'all are the best. Y'all bitches really come through. Love you guys. Thanks for listening, and have a fucking... Oh my god, wait, I said had a fantastic Friday yesterday and it was Wednesday, and I realized that today is Thursday and I should have said had a fantastic Friday. So let's try this again, bitch. I was probably too high to realize that it was even gonna be Friday. I want everyone to have a magnificent, frisky, fun, fantastic, fruity Friday. It's so important that you do, for me and for you. Anyways, toodaloo.